Peace and prosperity to everyone coming in. This is Asaya Mystic, and right now I'm going to be talking about being primordial and the origin of all race. And I was inspired to make this video because I'm currently still writing my book, The Great Woman Resurrected. If you haven't gotten it or pre-order it, make sure you go click the link in my bio. And there's a portion of my book, a great big portion, but a very big portion of my book where I speak of why the woman is so important, the primordial woman is so important, and the origin and the meaning of what it means to be primordial. And so with everything that has spurred in regards to race and, race wars and Black Lives Matter and, just these repetitive arguments that I find so many of us have been having for some time now, as we are moving into higher places spiritually, I feel that it is very important for us to also ground and not get into a space where we are spiritually bypassing earthly truths, and recognizing that it is very real. It is very real that history and our memory as beings on this planet has been messed with. And that is truth. We come here on this planet having to access more of ourselves. We come onto this planet having to remember ourselves. We don't come onto this planet automatically knowing and having the understanding, unless most of us come here lit. All of us actually come here lit, but sometimes souls don't. And what I'm getting at is, we don't come here in the strong awareness of who we are as beings on this planet. We come here and we're immediately pushed into this third dimensional way of understanding life, which is the physical way, right? Knowing the tangible, trusting the tangible, trusting what we see in front of us. And now we're getting to a point where we can see past what is in front of us and acknowledge that that is just a portion. You want to play with your friends? You want to play with your friends in the water? I'm watching you. Okay. So, yeah. Hold on, y'all. She wants to go play in the water. Come on. She's like, Mama, I want to play in the water.
Yes, I am with sleep.
Oh, really? Go ahead. Go play. Go play. I'm not getting in the water. That's not happening. Okay, just a little bit. All right. Ah! It started me. Oh, jump. Jump. So like I was saying, we don't come here with an automatic awareness that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, right? We don't come here with the awareness that we're not the only people on the planet. And we're also not the only people in the universe. We come here thinking that, it's just us in this world. It's just us having these experiences, these earthly experiences. And that's not by coincidence. Many of us have inklings and feelings and inclinations and knowings that there is a vast and grand universe that exists. And there is so much more to life than what has been preached to us, in the churches and in the schools. And there is so much more to life and to living in these physical bodies. We know that. And so understanding that when we come here already with a part of our memory limited, right? And we have to activate that memory through our DNA as we evolve into who we are and into our soul being. So knowing that, there's also a comprehension that we have to admit that because we come here with this memory that we have to activate, that isn't already, accessible, that we have to activate. And remember that there's other beings on the planet. Remember that there's anything is possible, basically. And that also remember that this earth has a story. And this earth has a beginning. And with every beginning there is, I wouldn't say an end, but there's a next chapter, basically. So with that being said, the primordial being, or the primordial energy of the earth is responsible for all of us existing and having these physical bodies that we live in. All bodies come from the earth. Everyone has a body, and every body comes from the earth. However, there is a genetic code and there's a genetic structure that is most similar to the earth, or I would say in the most congruent with the earth's original blueprint, primordial blueprint. And that genetic code is in the primordial beings of the earth. And the primordial beings of the earth in this day and age live amongst and are considered right now in this day and age the black race, which interestingly enough usually almost always is talking about the black people in the Americas, because nowhere in any other country do people get called the word black, or in any other sphere of the world do people get called black as much as they do in the Americas. Okay, so this is important for us to understand, is that it really isn't about race. What it's about is truth. What it's about is understanding. What it's about is connecting to truth and being in the flow with truth. And this is all feminine energy. These are all principles of feminine energy that is encoded within the number 13 that we like to talk about so much, and the divine feminine, right? The divine feminine 13. But a lot of people are unaware of why this number is even representative of the divine feminine. Okay, not a lot of people know about the 13 clan mothers of the earth. Not a lot of people know about the primordial houses of the earth, which were 4 original houses that I speak of in my book. So being primordial is a genetic being first, meaning that it's the most similar and congruent genetic resonance that is equivalent to the earth's resonance and the universe's resonance. Okay, and then majority of everyone else that got here came here and utilized these genetics of the primordial being. So when I get to talking about that, people usually get like scared, but it's a real truth that once you come to accept that, and once you come to make peace with that, and then you open yourself to actually learning the real truth of the earth, then all of this stuff just won't confuse you. You won't be at a place, because what I see a lot of is, I see a lot of people who, of course, they get all strung out. Oh my gosh, this stuff is still existing, this racism is still existing, and this is, and then I see a lot of people who are like completely spiritually bypassing everything. Where do we learn this from? You can learn it by pre-ordering my book, The Great Woman Resurrected, because I talk about all of this stuff in my book. Right? It's called The Great Woman Resurrected. You know, and I encourage women to read the book, because, you know, when you enlighten a woman, you enlighten a nation. However, the book is for everyone to pick up and read if they feel so called to pick up and read it. But these four primordial houses is the baseline for the Afro-Indigenous being, right? Because the Afro-Indigenous being is the being that was created from the earth, period. The Afro-Indigenous being was the being that emanated from the earth. And after the Afro-Indigenous being came from the earth, you had other beings who had a spiritual resonance, okay? Follow me here. Who had a certain spiritual resonance. They had a certain light frequency. And so when they came onto earth, this earth, and they started to procreate, and they started to, you know, in the beginning, clone themselves, I want to say, using the genetics of the primordial being, they began to have certain phenotypes. And this is where you get different phenotypes of beings that start to look incredibly similar to one another. So when you look at the Afro-Indigenous being, greetings, goddess, love, Jen Makeup. When you look at the indigenous, Afro-Indigenous being, we look like everything. We could be dark skinned, super black. We could be high yellow, okay? Even white with freckles. We be white with freckles and blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? We, like, our genetics are all over the place because we are the original genetic code of the planet. So this is so important, and this is why it is so important for primordial beings to not give their power away, and what they pay attention to and what they give energy to is like prominent, right? And I talk about this too in my book, how there are so many entities that are not primordial, but they black though. They not primordial, but they black though. But they want your energy, and they want you to identify with them and their celestial spiritual resonance. They want you to identify with their deity, basically, with their celestial resonance, so that you can because whatever you give attention to, you are allowed to live here. That's what y'all don't understand. You allow things to live here because we so humble and we so loving, and we literally carry the frequency of love, because that is the literal frequency of this planet, is love. we come here to experience love. So we're such a loving people. We're such a humble people. We just like, you know, we love everything. We cool with everything, you know. Until what I like to call the Aryans, or not really so much the Aryans, but the spirit of war and the spirit of the spirit of war that is not in balance with love. Because when we think about war, there's the warrior of love, and then there's the murderer, the killer, there's the psychopath, right? There's the warrior of love, and then there's that frequency that is not in alignment with love. So when that frequency entered the planet, which was already within the universe, when that frequency entered the planet, Naya said, how can we tap back into home? The way that you tap back into home is you have to tap back into you. You have to tap back into your body. You have to tap back into your soul. You have to tap into, as a woman, especially as a primordial woman, you have to first understand your earth path. You have to first understand your earth path. And once you understand your earth path, which is opposite to your sun sign, so whatever your sun is placed in is going to be, your earth path will be opposite to your sun. And then the house that your sun is in, it's going to be, your earth path will be opposite to that. So first you will start with your earth path. And once you understand your earth path, then you can start living your earth path. And from there you will fall into alignment, and you begin to activate who you are. So that's the simplest way I can break that down to you. But point blank period, you have to get back in tune with the earth. You know, there's so much, you know, evolvement going on in the spiritual arena, but what about earth? You know, and so that's why I have also made that video I made recently on, you know, why earth is never talked about in astrology. You know, it's just never talked about, you know, completely out of the picture. And so I had to really meditate on that as to why astrology is such a big thing, but nobody ever talks about earth as a planet. You know, why? That's because they will have a whole lot of explaining to do if they was to mention earth as a planet, even in astrology, right? Especially astrology. Astronomy, not so much, because astronomy is already disconnected to the energy of the planets and the influences. But, you know, astrology, they will have so much explaining to do. So embracing that the primordial beings of this earth is the source and the reason for why the earth is in the state that it's in and doing what it's doing is the key to everything. And when the primordial woman activates the genetic code within her cells, then as we're seeing right now, the earth will begin to, the polar shift will start to happen, because everything right now with global warming and all of ice is melting, all of that is happening because when the foreign beings that came to this earth, and I'm being vague because these foreign beings are celestial outcasts. Okay, this is what we call them. Do you think everything is predestined already? No, I don't think everything is predestined. I think that we come here to live out our destiny, and we do so with our focus and with our intention. And so many people, you know, sometimes that people don't come here and, you know, get it right. Or I wouldn't even say get it right, but sometimes people come here and they spend a big bulk of their life not experiencing or living out their destiny just based off of their frequency, that the frequency that they're on, and the thoughts that they think, and the matrix that they've been sucked into. So please understand that that's why they've created these matrices. When we think about, when people just talking about Black Lives Matter and, you know, these systems, and a lot of us are born into them. These are matrices that are created for us to pull our energy into, so that these matrices can keep existing. Because when we don't, if we were to not involve our energy into anything that goes on within this matrix and put it elsewhere, so not necessarily not, but put our energy into what we are intentionally creating. And this is what, you know, Abraham Hicks and all these people be talking about. When we are intentionally focusing our attention onto something, we're using our energy correctly instead of just creating by default. And so to answer your question, simply no, I don't think, you know, things are predestined. I do think that we have a destiny, and I do think that the earth is going to make it through this. I do believe that the earth is going to return into a better state of being from all of this. So yeah. And what's going on over there? Oh, they playing. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Can we talk about the beings too? Have you ever heard of star seeds? Yes, of course I've heard of star seeds. Someone requested to be in my video and unrequested. So yeah, so what beings are you talking? You're talking about the star seeds, or what beings are you talking about? Because there are many beings, right? And these beings emanate from different light frequencies, sources, what we call a soul, like different suns and different sources. So many beings have different sources, and they have different souls. And this is where we get the, you know, understanding of soul mates and soul tribes. And, you know, people literally, like, you recognize your family when you come into contact with your family. You do. It's just a feeling of in your heart, you know, like this is my family, like, you know. And you might not even really like them that much, but it's karmic, and you can feel it. So there are many different beings, and the main beings that I talk about in my book is the primordial being, the celestial being, and the humanoid being, and why it's important for us to stop looking at race and start looking at souls, and start looking at sources, and where do people originate from on a soul level. It's easier to put your energy into negativity. Do you think it's because we've been programmed to do so? How are you able to pull your energy back? You pull your energy back by mastering your thoughts and mastering your emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is huge. You have to be emotional. How you just gonna interrupt my video like that? How you just gonna interrupt me like that? That's what I want to know. Dance, 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 dance.
Mom, do it.
jump, 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 jump. So
Mama. It's a frog.
it is
It's a joke.
actually
Frog.
okay. So let me read your comment again. It's easier to put your energy into negativity. Okay, yeah. So that's what I said. You pull your energy. So it's all about holding your light, because you don't want to give your power away. Don't think it's negativity. So that's the first thing also that I talk about in my book. So if you haven't pre-ordered my book yet, make sure you go pre-order it. It's called The Great Woman Resurrected. Negativity is not a bad thing. And I'm not going to stop saying this, because we live in an era where people are using saying that negativity is a bad thing. And as soon as you stop looking at negativity as a bad thing and you start seeing negativity for what it is, which is dark space, dark matter, a space for creation, right? Because that's the epitome of feminine energy, is negative energy, dark matter, dark space. The womb is a negative space. Like, it's not a positive space. That's not, how it works. So when you come into contact with negative energy and you start feeling and sensing negative energy, that means that there is power in that area that you're experiencing within your soul, that you it's time for you to activate. So the way that you understand and hold your power and hold your light in that scenario and don't give your power away is you don't, first, like I said, stop looking at negativity as a bad thing. Second, see your power within that situation. Don't give the energy to whatever situation. Like, a lot of people will experience negative things and then, these people, this place, this energy. And a lot of times you could leave those people, you could leave that place, and then go somewhere else and experience the same thing all over again. So understand that majority of the time, this negative energy is an energy signature that you're holding within your aura. And that's why you're attracting these situations and scenarios, because it's time for you to activate that power within you. But because people are not being taught that, even in the spiritual arena, people are like, how do I stop being negative? How do I get away from the negativity? And it's not even about negativity. It's about tapping into who you are and being in your power. That's what it's about. But because people walking around powerless, like literally giving their power away, they don't have they don't know how to do it. And it literally starts with you learning the truth and accepting the truth, which are the first two divine feminine principles that we talk about in our sisterhood, the Sacred Soul Sisterhood, and that I explain in my book, going through these levels of truth. So yeah, that's basically how you pull your energy back. You want some popsicles? How about you eat some dinner?
Hey,
Hold on, I think your popsicles, your organic superfood popsicles. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
How are you?
I want some gobble goops.
You want some Google Goops? Okay, let me see. They want some Google Goops, y'all. I gotta get some Google Goops. Let me 3%. Oh, the popsicles aren't done, guys. They're not ready. They're not frozen yet. It's not frozen yet. It's juice. It's juice still.
Mama, you do.
Y'all want the juice? Okay, you want the juice. All right. Don't spill it though. That's all I'm asking. Woohoo! All right, eat some mango freezes. What is this? Yep, it's mango papaya. They about to drink some juice popsicles. Oh, it's just been a party over here, y'all. All right, let me see where the scissors at. Oh, here they are. Yeah, so yeah, it's just amazing how, you know, powerful we are as people and as beings on this planet. And you know, it's so important for us to take our power back and to live in our power, you know. And as primordial beings of the planet, it's our literal duty to do that, you know. And if you know and you resonate with what I'm speaking on, and you know, you've gotten chills at any point in time during this talk, then you know that for you, there is some memory being activated. So, hey y'all, it's not all the way frozen, so it's juice. So you want some juice? It's gonna drip in a hole. Careful, careful.
How do you say, Sophia?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
¿Cómo se dice muchas gracias?
Muchas gracias.
Pero no, ¿cómo se
De
dice?
nada.
Se dice thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You want some juice?
No.
Okay.
Is it good?
You want some
You're
juice?
missing out, Derek.
You said, what does it taste like?
Yeah.
It's like juice. Tastes sweet. Like fruit.
A ver, Sofía, déjame probar.
You want to try it?
Yeah,
A ver, dame probar.
no, the person that eats fruit.
Okay. Careful.
Came back with no shoes.
So, oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I keep my word. Yeah, come on, let's go. Let's go to the park. Where's my slippers?
Oh wow, it tastes like mango more than anything.
Okay, so oh, there's my shoes. Thank you so much. I am a great mother, and that is why I wrote my book, The Great Woman Resurrected, because You finished already? Can I have the rest? And that is why, yeah, that's why I wrote my book. So many things. But yeah, so they want to go to the park, and I will hop on this live again because I enjoyed this. So, yeah, make sure you pre-order the book. Let me know if you have any questions. And peace.
Oh no.